Hello and welcome. I am here to do a collective reading on the current energy as I've been feeling it a lot since I woke up this morning. And I just took a peek at the current transits and it makes a lot of sense to me for what I was experiencing. We have the moon, which is in Libra currently, in a square or a challenging aspect to Pluto, the planet of our regeneration, rebirth, of great change. And so there's conflict between our emotions, how we feel, and the narrative that's going on in our mind, with what we're feeling and sensing and what is the truth that is coming up through the heart chakra. So I'm going to do a reading on this energy as I'm feeling many people are experiencing some great angst as they battle with their emotions and maybe revisiting old wounds, as well as a lot of guilt and shame for things that have done in the past. Mostly unconscious, when we are unconscious, the acts, the things we say, the things we do. A lot of that's coming up for people, and we are embarking up along the holidays, Christmas, and the end of the calendar year, which is the darkest period of time, regardless whether it's sunlight or not, energetically dense time of year. So my heart goes out to anybody who is struggling. I did go through a little bit of my own emotional moment this morning. Was able to come out of it with more insight about myself and things that were showing me that I had not forgiven myself for yet. So yeah, let's go ahead and get a collective reading on this energy currently. Okay. We have reflection. A lot of what I've been experiencing since I woke up this morning. Reflecting back on memories, on myself, on, I personally ask questions. Why is this being shown to me if it doesn't resonate with me right away? So let's see, what fell on the floor? Partnership. Reflecting on partnerships, possibly, or we'll dive into that a little deeper. And collaboration, interesting. So what I'm getting is like how we collaborate, how we partner up with others. Is it heartfelt? Is it within your own personal dignity? We have inspiration at the bottom. This could also be a reflection on what we may be hoping or wishing for, or inspired to change, to make great change, to actually open our heart and compassion and care to others who may have given us grief or pain in the past. Let's see. Okay. A lot of energy was stirred up earlier today. I had to sit with it for a while. Actually, I called my mom because my mom is another amazing soul on this journey and has a great understanding as to the same path that I'm on and the understanding of our thoughts and the stories that we buy into with the emotions tied to them, and how we can actually go with a narrative that may not actually be true, but we can create it to be so if we really have conviction. A story. But let's see. We'll start with reflection. A lot of our deepest, darkest secrets, fears, pain, anger, a lot of that's been coming up ever since the sun was in a square to Neptune, that energy is still active, although it's not at its strongest peak any longer. And I may be prompted to read to you guys the inside degrees for when the Sun and Neptune were exact at 22 degrees. Squaring. Reflection. Love begins. So some people may be reflecting all the way back to the beginning of a relationship. This does not have to be romantic partnerships. This could be, well, we do have partnership, but love begins. The beginning stages, the bubble love, the bliss, the connection. Collective energy, please. Tell us more about partnership. The universe, or the world, which also speaks of integrating lessons, experiences that we've had within our partnerships and relationships to other people. What have you learned about yourself? Have you learned to start to love yourself? This is also about self-love, self-awareness, self-compassion, because we can't really give it out to others if we're not giving it to ourselves. There's a lot of energy working, stirring the pot right now collectively, because ultimately, wouldn't it be great if we could all connect to each other and support one another and care, have compassion for those who are suffering and struggling deeply and very obviously. We're all suffering and struggling somewhere in our lives, mostly emotional, but others are all across the board. Those who don't have a warm home to go to, or bed, or food in their stomachs, or battling a very strong addiction that has taken hold of them, battling the judgment and the stigma that's placed on them. And then there are the others who have had to navigate and live life with a dysfunctional partner or person who doesn't know how to cope with their own internal pain, so they do what they can to make themselves feel better, feel more comfortable. This is truly why people fall into addictive patterns, to feel better. We humans don't like to suffer. We're not meant to suffer. We cause a lot of our own suffering as well. So collaboration, what's going on right now is it's trying to connect the mind, the head, and the heart. But that's where we're stuck. There's a lot of thoughts, a lot of mental confusion, a lot of stories, a lot of narratives that are painful floating around in the mind. Even if people are like, holly jolly Merry Christmas outside, they can be internally imploding as well as emotional loss, the heartbreak, the pain, the agony of being hurt by another, of being left behind or abandoned or neglected or abused. So that head and heart connection is having a very difficult time, especially with the moon in the square to Pluto. Our emotions and our entire soul's journey on this planet, it's not adding up. Memories of love. So actually with reflection gives self-love begins. Love begins as we reflect on ourselves. We forgive ourselves first and foremost. And what was shown to me when I was literally in tears earlier were the aspects that I consciously could not think of myself, that I had a hard time forgiving myself for things that I do now know, now that I am conscious and awake, but in my past was unconscious to. So being the victim of abuse, being the victim of extreme pain, I then cause pain to others that I love dearly. And that guilt, that pain, that shame that I still carry today was shown to me very clearly, which was a relief and a release for me. That's what I'm getting with memories of love. And when we finally are able to really release the judgment that we place on ourselves and on others, that's when the magic happens. That's when we are inspired to make great changes within ourselves, within our lives, within our perception of everything and everyone. I'm going to dive a little deeper into this one. So tell me more about reflection, please, for the collective. And also, there's a lot of energy stirring around and trying to not be released, if that makes sense. Energies that are the ego holds on to for protection, wants to be, in some weird, odd way, wants to be the victim or the savior of a situation. Or reflecting on that and then giving self-love and self-compassion. We've all played a part in our lifetimes, or multiple parts, where then we are faced with those actors and actresses outside of ourselves to show us, is this, this is a part that you've played somehow, some way. It may not be the character that you are at this present moment, but dive deeper, reflect. When have you had similar traits? And then it's a matter of release and forgive, because that energy does get stuck. I remembered this morning how stuck that energy can get until you really truly allow it to be shown to you and felt. And then don't latch onto the narrative or the story of, maybe if you are going through the grief process or the shame and guilt, judging yourself. I lost where I was going there, but reflecting the star. When we can really truly reflect and remember and not hold on to that same narrative, that same story of there's something wrong with me, or I'm a bad person, or I'm never going to be loved by anybody because I did all this terrible stuff in my past, or I've hurt people. This is what we're healing through. This is what we're going through, the process. The star is about healing. It is also about newfound hope for the future. So allow yourself to reflect, but instead of following the narrative of whatever your mind and body may be saying, be the witness of that. If you're able to, maybe journal or speak it out loud, like I keep saying. King of Pentacles with partnership. So this also speaks of stability and being stable in this material world with another. Could be financial stability. Maybe that's the reason some have gone into partnership with others unconsciously, and now that subconscious is coming back up to show you, or just not wanting to be alone on this planet, going into a partnership or relationship for companionship, which are never reasons to go into these relationships. You want to bond with a soul, another soul. You don't want to bond based on your traumas. You don't want to bond based on your fears of being alone or not being able to make it in this world alone. But many, many people do. They're reflecting on that right now. Could also be a fear of maybe the partnership is not working for you anymore. But there could be fears of detaching from this partnership because then I won't be stable or I will be alone. I mean, even businesses partner up so that they have more financial stability. But that's not, there's always a lesson in that. Let's just say that. Judgment. With the connection from the heart and soul to the mind, the operating, programmed, conditioned mind, there is a lot of judgment being placed on self and on others at this point in time. There's a lot of hurt, a lot of pain, a lot of guilt, a lot of shame, a lot of confusion. But this also is telling me that this is an awakening to this truth. Many people are bottom of the deck. 7 of Wands. Many people are pushing through and really like fighting through a situation right now. And with these memories of love, the good old days when things were, and people do, we get very nostalgic around the holidays, right? But to keep pushing through with something that doesn't feel right anymore is going to create greater pain in the long run. So communication and real true connection is the answer there. Love and compassion, even if you've been hurt by each other. Because hurt people do hurt people. And when we awaken to that reality, all we can do as individuals is, for our own sense of peace, is to make amends and admit to whatever it is that we've done wrong, and know that going forward, I want to feel better. I want to feel better. I want true, genuine connection. And if we're not able to get there, then the best thing we can do is peacefully and lovingly go on our separate paths. All right, let's keep going here. So when we really do a lot of deep inner self-reflection and give ourselves the love and care and compassion that we need and we deserve, and stop judging yourself, stop being hard on yourself, going through the healing process, be very honest with yourself, the parts that you've played. But instead of placing blame onto others and yourself, just realize that this is definitely a life lesson that I want to take forward with much better understanding of myself, self-awareness and self-understanding. The sun brings back your true vitality and your true happiness. Happiness cannot be found outside of yourself, even within another person. That's another deep realization. So we have the Hanged Man. And this Hanged Man card is unique and different. It's from another perspective, and you cannot see the illumination going on very much. But what we do see is someone being hung up and criticized, mocked, blamed by this entire crowd. So there are people that are being exposed for maybe their lies, maybe their wrongdoings, being exposed for hiding their truth. And they're just allowing it at this point, because that's also another self-realization. And this fell under partnership. So it may not be a crowd, but it's definitely within a connection to another person. The truth is out, and now we have to sit in it. And these people are not happy. But the Hangman is illuminated. You can kind of see it on the other side of here. So this is more deep self-awareness and self-understanding. I see what I've created here. I see what I've created here by not being truthful and honest with myself and with others. And it's just owning up to it. Accountability. I think this was someone, if this is you or someone you know, this is someone who did not want to take accountability, that had a very protected ego, that hid this person from their own truth, made up other stories to play a part, play a role that they thought other people were expecting them to be. This is getting interesting. I did not think that this was going to go into partnership, but that makes sense. Four of Swords. So as we dive deeper into this energy, into the more of the density, the darker, I don't want to say darker energy, it feels dark because a lot of sorrow, a lot of sadness, a lot of like fear and anger, repressed rage even has been coming up, and as well as these feelings that some people are like, I just don't even understand why I feel the way I feel anymore, but I just know that I don't want to feel this way anymore. Deep realization as to where you want to be. So we have the Four of Swords. Taking a little bit of a break, a rest from whatever is going on right now in the emotions and in the mind, and yeah, taking some downtime. Now there are two people here watching over, and he has his hands up by his heart, almost in prayer, and their heads are hanging low, almost like they're supportive, but they're also concerned or just honoring this downtime. So there may be supportive or loved ones or others around that have witnessed and seen this bashing, so to speak, and maybe even talking the other person into taking a break, taking a rest, meditate, contemplate, take some downtime. That's when you're really going to get the next inspiration, the next idea. I'm getting ideas of moving forward in a much healthier way for the self. This is not an easy time for many. For those who are alone, for those who have lost a loved one, a pet, for those who are going through really challenging times within themselves and with themselves. It's very difficult and challenging to go out into the outside world and see all of this celebration and connection, and trust me, a lot of that is illusion in a way, or forced. Not for all, but definitely another design to really knock those down even lower, those who are already pretty knocked down. So again, the best that we can all do is send out energetically love and compassion to everyone on this planet. Tell me about the collective energy in a nutshell. Seven of Wands. There's a lot of volatile energy or conflict There's definitely been some fights. I'm right, you're wrong. Or who do you think you are? And in this card, it almost seems like it's the upper echelon versus the common folk. So collectively, there are external battles going on right now. External fights. Because emotions are running high. Especially today. Seven of Pentacles. And people are trying to bargain with each other. Or barter with each other. Because it's the holidays, right? So can we just get along? Can we just get along for this one day or this 1 week? Here, I'll give you this pentacle. I'll give you this if you can give me this piece. And the other guy, he's just not so sure. He's like, I don't know if I want to play your game anymore. I don't know if I want to bargain with you anymore. I may have just had enough. The Fool. The Fool just wants to escape into something new, a new adventure, its own happiness, its own happy, safe place. Well, I don't want to say safe. The Fool is an adventurer. The Fool is like, you know what? I don't even care anymore about anything. I've got to go on this new journey. I'm not afraid anymore. It is the first card in the Zodiac, so it is can be quite a juvenile energy, that energy of when you've just had enough and you cannot take any more in a situation. You know what your heart desires, and so, without even thinking, without even contemplating, you just take off into a whole other direction and hope for the best, right? And it could be just taking off to give yourself some inner peace, some solace. But there's definitely a lot of inner conflict and outer conflict at this time, as I'm reading this. And today is, I don't even have a date. Today is December 18th. As I'm reading this energy. So the moon in a square to Pluto, this is a quick mover. The moon moves every 2.5 days. So we don't have this energy for a whole lot of days. We are moving into the solstice energy, which will be the tipping point. So coming up to the tipping point, a lot of people need to have the energy really push them in a new direction. Really pushing them. Like, you really don't have too many options other than to go back into this volatile, conflicting situation or make a run for it. Go in your own direction. And that's where many people are. You know what? I have other options. The world, anything's possible, right? The Fool is also like, anything's possible. I'm getting out of my head. I'm getting out of the stories in my head. And I'm actually, now, Ace of Wands is also, still didn't take the foot out the door. The Fool did. But, so maybe you're not quite there yet, but definitely want to go towards a bright, sunny, happy place. Don't we all? But you can't run and hide from yourself in your own inner conflict. It goes with you wherever you go. But you can take yourself out of a challenging and conflicting situation to give yourself more peace and rest, which is what I'm seeing here. What else? Wheel of Fortune again, and the Two of Cups. Okay, and the Chariot at the bottom. So that's helpful. As the wheel turns, as the world turns, as the energy shifts and turns, it is pushing more and more people towards their Two of Cups, towards their heart, towards love and compassion and caring of self and of others, into a much more loving place. Maybe even taking loving actions towards others. The Chariot. Moving forward. Yeah, maybe zigzagging. Yeah, I'm not really sure, but it's moving forward regardless. Five of Cups below that. Moving forward, away from the sadness, the sorrow, this soap opera story that the mind keeps telling of how things are just never going to be any different, and woe is me. So we're moving out of that energy in the next few days. All right, let's see. Okay, I'm prompted to read from Moonology. So if any of you are in this situation right now, know that the energy is changing and shifting, but follow your heart. Self-care, very important. And don't confuse that with selfish. There may be people calling you selfish. However, if your intention is to not harm anybody, and definitely follow how you feel, not what the mind, not what the words say, or what the mind says. Because that will bring up guilt and shame and blame, and some people will retract back into their cave, into a situation, because they don't like to feel guilt or shame. They don't like to be blamed. But eventually, you can only take so much before it's like, yeah. Your commitment is being tested. Interesting. This is a test, for sure. But the commitment is not the commitment that you're thinking of. The commitment is the commitment to yourself, to your soul's journey, to your path. Let's see what it says in the book here. All right. There could be some challenges coming your way, but they're just the universe's way of testing you. The first quarter moon calls for you to face any hurdles with confidence. What do you actually think is possible? If you believe you can do it, then you probably can. If you spend your life affirming that something is too big for you to surmount, it probably is. So see how it works? It says, do you believe your dreams will come true, or have you secretly already given up? Showing some commitment now will help you move toward your desired outcome. What you believe to be true is true for you. So believe in yourself. I mean, this really sums up this entire reading. So for any of you that are struggling right now, and it is really challenging energy, if you're struggling right now, check your thoughts. Check the stories that are going on in your thoughts. That's why I had to call my mom. She helped me check I actually knew what my thoughts were. I said, I think I found some things I have not forgiven myself about yet, because they keep coming up and haunting me today. And I was going with the narrative of like, I'm not worthy, I'm not, all of the stories that the past brings up. So check with those. Make sure that you're not telling yourself, your thoughts may be telling you, but make sure you're not buying into any of those negative thoughts about yourself. And really your commitment to yourself is being tested right now. That is so true with this energy. And I felt that a lot. The commitment on your journey to self-awareness, self-healing, self-love. we have to give all that to ourselves first before we can ever give it to anybody else. So I hope that everybody's doing well. I definitely felt this challenging energy, and I wanted to just jump on and get a read to that. This confirms everything for me, but hopefully this is helpful for some or all of you watching and listening. And much love, and take good care of yourself. Much love to all of you. Self-care is a necessity. It's not a luxury. So definitely pay attention to your thoughts, your feelings, what, how you're coping with this energy as well. And, take it easy. Rest when you can. Give yourself some downtime. All right, everybody. I love you. Thank you. Bye.